Hello everyone, this is Unit 1 from the Year 10 curriculum now that you'll be starting. And this first part, the first chapter is number and number fluency. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to do a knowledge check. Okay, so we're going to go through a series of questions. You will try them all first, then I will go through the solutions with you. Okay, it's checking your knowledge, what you know already, and then we're going to apply that further as we go through the chapter. Okay, so if you could please pause the video and play when you've finished doing these 5 questions, then I'll move you on to the next set of questions, and then finally at the end, when we've done all the questions, we'll go through the solutions together. Okay, so please pause and play when you're ready to move on to the next lot of questions. Okay, this is the next set of questions. Note that you can use a calculator for question 13, please. None of the other questions, but just question 13. So pause and then play when you're ready to continue. Okay, and then finally you've got your challenge question here. So once again, please consider this, pause the video, have a go, and then play when you're ready for me now to go through the solutions to all of the knowledge check with you. Okay then, so well done for giving that a go. So as you can see on the screen there are the answers to the first 3 questions. I'm going to go through them with you on the split screen. So I'm going to be doing them on my piece of paper on the split screen, and we'll go through each of the solutions so that you understand the process, or where you went wrong or where you went right, etc. Okay, so question 1 is just asking us to do some basic kind of division and multiplication involving decimal numbers. Okay, so question 1A is 5 multiplied by 0.3. Okay, and it's up to you really the method that you use to do this. You could have put it into a column method, so you could have done 0.3 multiplied by 5. Okay, lining up your decimals, 5 times 3 is 15, so it's 5 carry 1. 5 times 0 is 0, add 1 is 1. So 1.5 is your answer there. Or you could have thought about, well, what is 5 times 3? 5 times 3 I know is 15, but actually 0.3 is 10 times smaller than 3, so I need to make my answer 10 times smaller. So if I did 15 and I made that 10 times smaller by dividing by 10, I would also get 1.5. Okay, so it doesn't matter how you did that, as long as you've got to the correct solution. Okay. Part B, you have got 97 multiplied by 0.02 now. Now once again, the method you choose is up to you. I always think it's easier, we're only multiplying by 2, so we're doubling, so it's easy to go 97 times 2. Well, what's double 97? That's 194. So my answer there is 194, and then I consider what I've changed to get to this part. Well, 0.02 is 100 times smaller than 2, because 0.2 would be 10 times smaller, therefore 0.02 is 100 times smaller. So in order to get the correct answer, I need to divide my answer by 100 to make my answer also 100 times smaller. So 194 divided by 100 gets you to 1.94. Okay? Part C. I'm going to go up here for part C. We have got 6, and now we're dividing by 0.2. So now you've got to be thinking of it in a slightly different way. So I'm doing 6 divided by 0.2. Again, for this kind of question, I would be just thinking about what I know. So I'd be doing 6 divided by 2. I know that's 3. Now, as we're dividing, we have a look at this. 0.2 is 10 times smaller than 2. But I'm not going to make my answer 10 times smaller because then it's telling me that only 0.3 lots of 0.2 go into 6. But that's not true. There's going to be more 0.2s in 6 than there are 2s. Okay, so although 0.2 is 10 times smaller, my answer must be 10 times bigger. So I'm going to have to do my 3 times 10, and that means there's 30. Okay, so there's 30 0.2s in 6. Part D, 27 divided by 0.09. And again, we need to be careful when we're considering this. I know, without working out any decimal calculations or using long division, anything like that, I know 27 divided by 9 is 3. Okay, so that means 3 9s go into 27. 0.09 is 100 times smaller than 9, therefore I need to make my answer 100 times bigger, okay, because 100 times more of them are going to fit into 27 than 9 did, okay? So 3 times 100 is going to be 300. The answer that is 300. Okay? E, 4.2 divided by 0.1. And again, now you're going to think about what you're doing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make both of them 10 times bigger. So that's actually just going to become 42 divided by 1, which I know is 42. Now, as before, I think about what I've done here. As I've made them both 10 times bigger, it's actually going to have no effect on my answer. And my answer is going to be 42. Okay, because I've made both of them 10 times bigger, it won't change my answer, and it's going to be 42. F, we've got 0.4 multiplied by 0.6. I know that 4 times 6 is 24. And now we need to think about what's changed. This is 10 times smaller, this is 10 times smaller. So the net effect is that my answer is going to be 100 times smaller, and therefore be 0.24. Okay, let's go to G. 0.9 multiplied by 0.02. And think about my answers. Well, I know 9 times 2 is 18. This is 10 times smaller. That's 100 times smaller. So my answer needs to be 1,000 times smaller, and will therefore be 0.018. Okay, because I'm making 18 1,000 times smaller. Okay. H, 0.09 multiplied by 0.09. Well, I know 9 times 9 is 81. I'm multiplying here, so I need to just think about what I've done to each of these to get to here and do the opposite to the answer. So I have multiplied 0.9 by 100 and 0.9 by 100 again to get to 9. Then my net effect is I need to divide by 100 twice, essentially, okay? So divide by 100 twice, or divide by 10,000. So that will give me, so I should write that there. That should give me 0.0081. Okay? I, 0.4 divided by 0.2. Remember, with division, I'm going to make this into 4 divided by 2. As I've done the same thing to both parts of my division, it's not going to change my answer, okay? So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 0.4 divided by 0.2 is therefore 2 as well. Next one, we have J. We've got 0.9 divided by 0.03. Okay, now we have to be careful here because we're going to be making 2 lots of changes. So If I only made them both 10 times bigger, that would leave me with 9 divided by 0.3. Okay? That I still don't like. I want to get rid of my decimals. So I'm going to make them both 10 times bigger again, and I'm going to do 90 divided by 3 this time. So instead of just keeping that at 9, I've kept the same effect so that I don't have to change my answer. Okay, because remember we can do that with division. And we know that 90 divided by 3 is 30. Therefore 0.9 divided by 0.03 is also 30. Okay? The next one, so we're on K now. Let me just move my paper up, sorry. So on K now, we're doing 0.45 divided by 0.3. Okay? And again, as we're dividing, I'm going to do the same thing to both parts of my division so that I don't have to change my answer. And in order to get rid of all of the decimal places in both parts here, I'm going to times both of them by 100. Okay, so times that by 100, that gives me 45. Times this by 100, it gives me 30. Now that's not very nice. I'm still doing 45 divided by 30. That's still going to give me a decimal answer. And I want it to be a little bit easier for myself. So actually, I'm not going to times that one by 100. I'm just going to times it by 10. So I will have to change my answer. So you must remember that. So 45 divided by 3 is 15. Okay? Now, this 3 here is 10 times bigger than my 0.3. Therefore, I need to make my answer 10 times smaller, okay? So my answer is going to be 1.5. Okay? And then the last one, L, we have 0.88 divided by 0.04. Okay, I'm going to multiply them both by 100 because it's a division, and that will get rid of the decimals in both. And it gives me 88 divided by 4. As they're both changed at the same rate, whatever my answer is for here, it's going to be the same for my 0.88 divided by 0.04, and that is 22. Okay, and that's question 1 finished. Moving on to question 2. Question 2 is asked you to choose the correct sign. Okay, so we have this sign and this sign. Make sure you know them. This is less than. This is greater than. Okay, so 2A. We have 2.7 and 2.5. Or 2.7 is greater than 2.5, so you need the greater than sign. For B, we had 3.04 and 3.3. Well, 3.04 is less than 3.3, so you needed the less than sign. C, we have minus 2.9 and minus 2.8. Well, minus 2.9 is less than minus 2.8, so we need a less than sign. And then finally D, we have minus 5.16 and minus 5.5. Okay, remember, if you want to compare it with the same decimal places, it's going to be minus 5.50. Okay, and it's asking you which one's bigger, which one's smaller. Well, this one's further away from 0 than this one. Therefore, minus 5.16 is greater than minus 5.5. Okay, and then you didn't need that 0 on the end there for your answer. Okay, question 3. It wants to know all of the factors of 12 and 18. Okay, so you wanted all the factors of 12 and all the factors of 18. Okay, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. So if you write them in a list in order, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And then for 18, you'd have 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6, and then you're at the end there. So now you write them out in order: 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. Okay, then B has asked you to list all of the common factors. So which numbers are in both? Well, we've got 1, 2, and 3 in both on that side, and then we also have a 6. Okay, so they're all my common factors. Okay, and C has said, what is the highest common factor? Well, it's 6, isn't it? That's the highest number that's a factor of both 12 and 18. Okay, so well done for that one. Moving on, the next set of answers are on the screen for you, and we'll go through that now. So, question 4 says, copy and complete the Venn diagram for the factors of 16 and 20, okay? So the factors of 16 and 20, and we need to copy and complete the Venn diagram. So, this is how we're going to do it. I'm just going to do a rough sketch. Hopefully you did the same. Make sure there's enough, I mean that is horrible, but make sure there's enough space in your overlap to write numbers. So this is factors of 16. This is factors of 20. Okay, so you need to write out a list of your factors. On this side of the circle are the factors of 16. On this side of the circle are the factors of 20. And in the middle are the ones that are common in both. Okay, so all of the common factors are the ones that go in the middle. So I'm just going to write out my list of each of the factors on the side here. So I have 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 3 isn't a factor, and 4 is a factor, but it's 4 and 4, isn't it? Okay. Then 20, we've got 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3 isn't a factor, and 4 is a factor with 5, so 4 and 5. Okay. I'm going to now circle my common ones because I'm going to start by filling out the centre where they overlap. So my common factors are 1, 2, and 4. They're the ones that are in both, okay? So in the middle here, we need 1, 2, and 4. Now they've been used. So just so that you don't write them again, you can cross them out. And then the ones that are only factors of 16 are 8 and 16. So I've used those. And then the ones that are only factors of 20 are 5, 10, and 20. So I've used those as well. Okay? And then you're finished. Then part B has asked you to write down the highest common factor. So it's the highest number that's going to be in this overlap, and that's 4. Okay, so 4 is the highest common factor. Okay, question 5. Question 5 says, write down the first 10 multiples of 6 and 9. The first 10 multiples of 6 and 9. So we'll start with 6, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 40, oh, not 32, 42, 48, 54, and 60. Then the first 10 multiples of 9. So 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, and 90. Okay, so then my first 10 multiples of both. Then part B says, make a list of the common multiples. So all of the multiples that are in both, okay, all of the common multiples. I'm going to have a look. Well, 6 is only in the 6 times tables, 12 is only in the 6 times table, 18 is in both, 24 is only in the 6, 30 is only in the 6, 36 is in both, 42 no, 48 no, 54 is in both, okay, and then after that there are no more. So my common multiples are 18, 36, and 54. Okay? Then it says, write down the lowest common multiple, and the lowest common multiple is 18. Okay, so that's the lowest number that's in both of their times tables. Okay, so well done for doing that. Oh look, there were more answers to come, I think, on there, but never mind. So question 6, 7 and 8 are now on the screen, and then I'm going to go through them with you as well. For question 6, part A says copy and complete the Venn diagram to show the first 10 multiples this time. Make sure you're reading it carefully, of 4 and 10. So the first 10 multiples of 4 and 10. So what I'd start by doing is like we did in the last question, I'd write out the multiples of 4 and 10. The first 10 of them. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. That's the first 10 for 4. Then we need the first 10 for 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Okay? So now you've done that, you need to draw out your Venn diagram and fill it in. Okay, so draw out a rough Venn diagram. In fact, I'm going to do my circles first this time because hopefully it'll make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, so that's a bit better. Then you've got multiples of 4 and multiples of 10. Okay, and it wants the first 10 of each. Remember, in the middle is ones that are going to be multiples of both. This one's going to be the ones that are only multiples of 4, and this one's going to be the ones that are only multiples of 10. Okay, so I'm going to start by looking through my list and seeing which ones are common. Okay, so I know none of those are. The first one in the 4 times tables that's in the 10 times tables is 20. And then the next one is 40. Okay, because we know they're lending 0. Now, the 10 times tables is carried on much higher in the value of the number than the 4 times tables had. So I still need to carry on thinking about which ones are also multiples of 4 in the 10 times tables. And if you can see, 20, 40, there's going to be a multiple of 20. Okay? So we know that also 60, 80, and 100 are also common. Okay? So now I've done that, I'm going to fill in my overlap here with the ones that are in both the 10 and 4 times tables from my list. Okay, so I have 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. They're all the ones that are in both. I'm going to cross those from both lists. Okay, it's good to make sure you write out the list that you don't miss a number. Even if you know the times tables, it's very easy to make mistakes if you don't write out the list, okay? So then from there, now I can just fill in the other parts. Which ones are only multiples of 4? So 4, 8, 12, 16, 24, 28, 32, and 36. And then which ones are only multiples of 10? We've got 10, 30, 50, 70, and 90. Okay? And then you finish that part. Then part B says write down the lowest common multiple of 4 and 10. So this centre part shows us our common multiples. The lowest common multiple of 4 and 10 would be 20. So part B is 20. Okay, now on to question 7. Question 7a. So we have 8 minus 2 times 3 that we're doing. Now the important thing you've got to remember, which I hope you did remember, is your order of operations. Okay, so BIDMAS, which order do you do this calculation? Okay, and with BIDMAS we know that multiplication comes before subtraction. So we must do 2 times 3 first. 2 times 3 is 6, so we're actually doing 8 subtract 6, which we know is 2. Okay, B, 7B. We've got brackets 8 minus 2, all multiplied by 3. Okay, so now it's the same thing, same numbers, but this time they've put in brackets, which means we must do the 8 minus 2 first. 8 minus 2 is 6, so we're actually doing 6 multiplied by 3. Okay, and 6 times 3 we know is 18. Part C, we have 7 subtract 4 subtract 1, all multiplied by 6. I'm going to start off with my order of operations and I'm going to do my brackets first. 4 subtract 1 is 3, so that leaves me with 7 subtract 3 multiplied by 6. Now I think about my order of operations again. Multiplication comes before subtraction. So 3 times 6 is 18. So I'm doing 7 subtract 18. And 7 subtract 18 is negative 11. Okay? D, 24 divided by bracket 8 subtract 2. So I do my brackets first. 8 subtract 2 is 6. I'm doing 24 divided by 6, which is 4. Part E, 4 squared plus 1. This is called an indice. Okay, indice comes before addition. So we're doing 4 squared. So 4 squared is 16. So we're actually doing 16 plus 1, which is 17. And then the last one, F, we've got minus 6 all squared. Okay, so we're doing minus 6 squared. We have, this means minus 6 multiplied by minus 6. And we know when we multiply two minuses together, we get a positive. So 6 times 6 is 36. So your answer there should be 36. Okay? And finally, question 8. It has asked us to insert brackets to make this calculation correct. So we've got 9, I think this is plus 18 divided by 3 equals 9. So this would have been a bit of a trial and error. Okay, so if I added 9 and 18 straight away, that gives me 27. Is 27 divided by 3 9? Well, yes, it is. Actually, the bit I want to do first is 9 plus 18, and then divide them by 3, okay? And that's your final answer there. Oh, that's gone in the way there, that one. So let me just get rid of that. Then we can go through these parts. So, question 9. We're estimating now. So estimating means don't give an exact answer, give a rough answer. Okay, this is really good for checking your answers to calculations. Okay, so we've got 7.3 multiplied by 8.94. And what you do when you're estimating is you round each number to one significant figure. Okay, so when you round to one significant figure, remember you look to the first non-zero number. Here it's 7. Look at the number next to it and round accordingly. Okay, so that's going to round down to 7 multiplied by, well, this is my first non-zero number. 9 is more than 5, so round it up to 9. So roughly we're doing 7 multiplied by 9, and 7 nines are 63. Part B, we have 47 divided by 2.1. Okay, so I'm going to round them both to one significant figure. 47 to one significant figure, you round, look at the first non-zero number, that's 4. 7 is going to round 4 up to 5, so that's roughly 50. So then 50 divided by, first non-zero number here is 2. That's 1, so it rounds it down, so it's going to be 50 divided by 2, which is 25, okay? So it's approximately 25, my answer there. And actually what you should be writing is that sign which is an estimate, so it's roughly 25. The next one, part C, 5.2. I think that says plus, yeah, plus 4.9. Round both to one significant figure, that would be 5 plus 5, which is 10. Therefore, that approximately is 10 there. And D, 7.9 subtract 2.4. 7.9 is 8 minus 2 is what we're doing there, so it's a roughly 6. It's approximately 6, my answer there. Okay, question 10. Question 10 says, write the positive and negative square roots of these numbers. Okay, so the first one is 36. So we know that the square root of 36 is either 6 or negative 6. Next one, part B, is 1. We know the square root of 1 is 1, or therefore negative 1. And then C, we've got 64. We know the square root of 64 is 8, so it's 8 or negative 8. Question 11. Part A wants us to work out 4 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 25. Okay? It's up to you how you do this, but I think I know 4 times 25 straight away. And multiplication is commutative, so I can do this. So 4 times 25 I know is 100. So I'm actually doing 100 times by 9, which is 900. You're done there. For B, you're doing 102 multiplied by 48. So B is 102 multiplied by 48. So it's up to you how you do it. You could partition it and do 100 times 48 and then 2 times 48 and add them together, or you can just do your column method and do 102 multiplied by 48. Okay, 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 0 is 0, add 1 is 1. 8 times 1 is 8. Now you're doing 40 times, you need to put your 0 there because you're timesing by 40. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 0 is 0, and 4 times 1 is 4. Add that together. 6 add 0 is 6. 1 add 8 is 9. 8 add 0 is 8, and 4 on its own there makes 4. So your answer should be 4,896. Okay? Part C has asked you to do 182 multiplied by 99. Now, 99 is nearly 100. So one method you could do is 182 multiplied by 100, which gives you 18,200. And then you're just going to subtract one lot of 182, okay? Because you've times it by 100, but they wanted you to times it by 99. So then actually what you're going to do is 18,200 subtract 182. So 200 subtract 182 is going to be 18. So my answer is 18,018. Otherwise you could use the column method, but you should be looking for these kind of relationships to make your life easier. And finally, part D. We have 27 multiplied by 6 plus 27 multiplied by 4. Okay, so remember your order of operations. We must do our multiplications before we do our additions. So I'm going to start with 27 multiplied by 6. I'll do my column method quickly. 27 multiplied by 6. 7 6s are 42. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 is 16, so that's 162. And then we also need to do 27 times 4. 4 times 7 is 28, so 8 carry 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10, so that's 108. Then what you're actually doing in your calculation is 162 plus 108. Okay, so you can do your column here. Oh, that's not 162, that's 108. So I'll do 162 plus 108 2 plus 8 is 10, so 0 carry 1. 6 add 0 is 6, add 1 is 7. 1 add 1 is 2. So your answer is 270. Okay? So make sure you're considering your order operations all the time. Next question. It says copy and complete. Okay, so you have 6 times 6. And that's saying it's equal to 6 to the power of what? Well, there's two 6's, so it's 6 squared. 6 to the power of 2. That's 12a. And then for 12b, you've got 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And they're saying that's equal to 3 to the power of what? Well, there's 4 3's. We're multiplying 3 by itself 4 times, so it's equal to 3 to the power of 4. Okay? Now question 13 first. You could use a calculator. I'm not going to bother go through those. You use your calculator. 4 squared, 1 to the power of 4, 11 cubed, and 2 to the power of 7, and you should have got the answers that are shown below there. So 4 squared, 16. 1 to the power of 4 is 1. 1 to the power of anything is 1, okay? Then 11 cubed is 1,331, and then 2 to the power of 7 is 128, okay? So now let's have a look at the challenge. It says, how many different ways can these cards be arranged? Okay, so how many different ways can the cards red, blue, yellow be arranged? Well, we can have red, blue, yellow. We could also carry on starting with red, and then we could have yellow, blue. Then we could start with blue, and we could have blue, red, yellow. Carry on starting with blue, we could have blue, yellow, red. Finally, we could start with yellow and have yellow, red, blue, or we could start with yellow and have yellow, blue, red. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options, okay? So 6 ways. Then it says, what about now? Okay, so what about now? We've got, so that was part A, say. This is part B. So what about now that we've got red, blue, yellow, and green? Well, we can start with red again and have red, yellow, blue, green. Or we could have red, yellow, green, blue. I'm going to be here for a while. Or we could have red, green, blue, yellow. Or we could have red, green, yellow, blue. Or we could have red, blue, yellow, green. Or we could have red, blue, green, yellow. Okay, that's all my options starting with red. Or we could have blue, red, yellow, green. Blue, red, green, yellow. Blue, green, yellow, red. Blue, green, red, yellow. Blue, yellow, green, red. Blue, yellow, red, green. Okay. Oh, I did that one twice, didn't I? That one there. I just copied that out twice there, so ignore that first one. Just realised that. Okay, or we could start with, let's go yellow, yellow, red, blue, green, yellow, red, green, blue. And it takes ages, okay? I'm going to carry on doing it this way, but when we go through the rest of this chapter, I'll show you the way to do this that is not so time consuming, where you don't have to write out each of the options, okay? So yellow, red, green, blue. Yellow, green, red, blue. Yellow, green, blue, red. Yellow, blue, red, green, and yellow, blue, green, red, okay? And then one more, we need to start now with the, what colour haven't I started with? Green now. Green, red, blue, yellow. Green, red, yellow, blue. Green, blue, red, yellow. Green, blue, yellow, red. Green, yellow, blue, red. Green, yellow, red, blue. Okay? So we could have 24 different ways. Okay, and as I've said, I will show you in the next lesson how to get this in a quicker way. Okay, so well done if you got that. Okay, so that's the end of the session. Thank you, well done. Please make sure if there's anything you weren't sure about, you go back and you listen to the solutions and you listen to my explanations. And then all these kind of topics that we've looked at here, we're going to go into much more detail in the coming lessons. Okay, so well done.